You ain't shit for watching. I'm your wonderful, gracious, happy to be here host, Donnie. So listen, tonight we having a conversation based on standing your ground. It's all too often that we see in the news and the media multiple cases of Caucasian men standing their ground when they see a black man walking down the street, minding his own business. So we want to explore the aspects of standing your ground from a black perspective, and we want to go down basically all it entails. As of late in the media, we have a situation that happened at the Fredericks Fair in Maryland. Two young boys were at the fair. They were harassed by what we suspect is a white supremacist. He called them, those two boys, a nigga and spit on them. Now, the media sources will have you believing, based on the fact that these two boys are black and this older man was white, that the two boys were looking for a problem. But in reality, this man is a career criminal. We have a basically a list of his charges that are
Here's a question. What are some of his charges? Can you read them off?
Okay. I'm Kev, by the way. How everyone?
what's his name? Thomas Weed, John Weed.
All right. John Weed.
Help
What's
me
his
out,
name?
Kev.
Okay.
John Weed. The dude's name is John Weed. Basically, John Weed decided to kids by spitting on them and calling them nigger. And as any person would who's been assaulted, you're going to respond. You're going to defend yourself. One of the little boys hauled off and hit that man. That man met the pavement, took his ass to the hospital. Later on, he passed away. So at that point, we're here to have a conversation about standing your ground in the black community because they want to lynch these little boys for doing just what these Caucasian individuals do on a daily basis and walk away with for killing black men. Tonight on the panel, I have, I'll start from my left. We have Kevin Astor, black man being brutally honest. What's up, Kev?
Hey, what's up? How you doing? And definitely, I do understand the two young men's caution because I mean, this kind of stuff goes viral every day. You see, you see white people around this age harassing black people, calling them N words, throwing stuff at them, spitting on them, and due to this recent administration, they've been getting bolder with it. So these people are afraid, and they now they feel that now is the time to stand their ground. I mean, based on our past, where we were getting lynched, and now you have this thing where cops are randomly killing young black men on a daily basis. I mean, some of us just can't take it anymore, and I think this is one of these incidences that boiled over with just that. I mean, you spit on them and you call them a nigga. I mean, who's not going to retaliate from that? Something could have been wrong with that man. I mean, you can in a lot of states you can legally get arrested for spitting on someone. So what those young men were supposed to do? But just for facts, these two young men are facing charges, but they cannot be tried as adults. But here's his his name is John Weed, the man who died. Here's his long list of charges.
Well, hold on. We're gonna get into that. Let me get Dre to introduce himself. Dre, what's going on, Judge? Okay. Judge Drizzy, what's popping? Oh well, he must be busy. He occupado.
Let me unmute.
Well, there you go. You unmuted. Just speak on it, brother. Uh-oh. Judge Dre, all right.
All right. Yeah, okay, here we go. This StreamYard crap don't work well on the phone, I see. But yeah, basically, I mean, it's really what it is. Of course, our society nowadays, these white people who are racist, there's just a couple of them left, getting the big head. I mean, sometimes you write a check, your ass can't cash. I mean, once you spit on somebody, like I said, you can't throw stones in the glass house. You can't control how bad they beat your ass after you initiate attack. You attack first, and the person decides to stomp you to the ground. It ain't like you was some innocent bystander. I mean, they gave you plenty of chances. You spit on them. You call them all kind of racial slurs. But I mean, cases like these just shows you the difference between white people and black people. I mean, look, black people, they're gonna be charged. If there's a way to charge us, they're gonna find a way to bring charges up on us. White people are given the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
I mean, it's probably the case. Well, think about it. That situation would have been reversed unless the case went viral. They wouldn't even they wouldn't even have been arrested. I mean, look at the Amber Geiger situation. Anybody who's watching that trial, you sit up here and see. I hate to say, she might get a real light sentence. By the way they talking, I'm thinking she's gonna get a real light sentence.
If anything, a light sentence. It's a goddamn shame. Because how are you a police officer, a trained police officer, get the wrong apartment?
And it doesn't matter. She's gonna get a light sentence. I can tell already by the way they setting it up. I've been listening to the trial over the time. Oh yeah, they setting it up good. She's gonna get a light sentence. She'll get a light sentence.
Oh yeah. She conjured up some tears too, so that probably increased her chances.
They're gonna hit her with it. You know what? I've seen you this whole case. I see your heart. It is broken. I'm gonna fine you 55 boxes of tissue. You just go on about your day, okay? I'm sorry.
Not even the fact that just sit here and say, when you look at cases like that, you'd be like, God damn. And to go to show you how, you'd be like, that motherfucker didn't do nothing wrong. An athlete, outstanding person in this church. They didn't sit up here trying to find something negative. He lunged at her or whatever. No offense. I don't give a fuck if he charged at her right away when she came in there and he had a knife in his hand. Too bad you were in the wrong apartment.
But here's the thing, though. They say from the way the trajectory of the bullet wound, they say it looked like it was he was being shot in a downward position.
Yeah, I did notice that. But it looked like he was standing over him while she shot him, like he was on his knees.
Listen, the fact that we have to have a case about this bullshit is insane. This bitch walked into the wrong fucking house and shot a man who lives there. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We talking about practice? We talking about practice. Right. Nigga, listen, you walked into another person's fucking house and shot them. At the end of the day, the only thing we're going for murder one. We're going for murder two. Or we gonna get you some type of manslaughter, which I don't even see pulling off. I don't even know how you would pull off manslaughter. I want murder one, murder two. What are we doing?
Like everything about the whole situation stunk. They said she was sexting with her partner or some shit, and she wasn't paying attention to what floor she was on.
She was paying attention.
That's what's so fucked up about the whole situation. No, not even the fact of that. What about when they talked? If you watched the case, did you see about how his apartment is set up? Like that thing to your right hanging on the wall. That should have let her know she wasn't in her apartment. Big ass thing that like you can put folders and shit in. Right as soon as you open the door. So how the fuck you didn't know the TV in another place? How the fuck you, man? I mean, but that just goes to show that a white was given the benefit on no matter what they say, how bad the evidence is against it. Where a person, I'm getting arrested right away. She got arrested 3 days later. There's no way we could have pulled that bullshit off. Even if being a black cop.
And Bond was posted that night. Hey, let me give y'all another little fun fact. On the day of his funeral, the Dallas Police Department got several search warrants to search his apartment. On the day of his funeral.
Mm-hmm.
They have yet to explain anything.
They looking for something to say. You know what? This nigga was a danger to the community, and don't feel bad. This nigga's dead. It was this uncertain, unexpected circumstances, but you know what? The nigga was still doing wrong, so don't feel bad.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. They said he was smoking weed.
It just goes to show you that they don't. Our life is not.
These motherfuckers do
Yeah.
us dirty.
Yeah, this is a very accomplished young man at a very young age. He worked in an accounting firm with one of the top 4 in the country. Like he was a student that was at the top of his class. Now, I'll tell you one thing though. When he died, the first thing that the media did was put out all these pictures of him with white women in them. So, and then they would caption it as all he did was hang around white girls. But then they released a picture of who his actual girlfriend was, black girl. See, they do all kinds of stuff to try to tear you down and discredit you. He smoked weed. He liked white girls. She felt like her life was in danger. They tried to do everything to tear this young man down. But let this man right here, John Weed, like when you Google search his name, all you see is articles and stories about how good a guy he was. He was a great guy. This, that, and the other. Can I ask y'all a question? With a rap sheet this long, would you say he was a good guy?
Tell you what, zoom in on that. Let's look at some of these charges. Let's blow this up so we can look at some of these charges, right?
Okay, notice this is the column. This is his birth date over here, 11/3/59. Don't look at that column. Look at these columns. Look at this column right here. Some of them unknown.
Burglary.
1999.
We got theft, possession. Oh, so he was a drug addict. He was a drug addict. Burglary. Okay, so what else we got? Keep rolling down because this is a long list. And these charges over different times. Unspecified.
CDS admin EQ. I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure it's something pretty bad. I mean, he stayed in trouble with the law. I mean, when did this young man ever learn anything?
So based on the narrative that they put on us, right? He's a career criminal. He's got more charges than anybody who has been killed by law enforcement or white supremacists standing their ground, quote unquote, right? Standing their ground. This man is a bigger criminal, and he is portrayed as an angel in the media.
And then I see possession. Could that have been weed? Since weed is so bad.
Nah, you know what? He's a white man. I wouldn't be shocked if it was an opiate of some kind. You know how they get down. You know how they get down. They have a whole issue. It's an epidemic. Oh my goodness. You
know what? Guys like this just say no. Just say no. Shoot, what is wrong with you, man? That's bad stuff.
But based on it, I mean, the dude was knocked out. So whatever happened, he had a culmination of other things going on in his life. Do I think that it's unfortunate that a man lost his life? Sure. The problem is these little boys were standing their ground in this incident. If it's to be believed, what these little boys were saying, and I say the word little boys because they were all, they're essentially children. They're under the age of 15, right? 15 or 16. That's a little boy in my mind.
15 or 16.
Right. So they're a little boy in my mind. You just getting into a car, you still discovering the world. They defended themselves. These are children. They didn't have any choice but to defend themselves against a man who was attacking and spitting on them. There's not a conversation in my mind that comes up that where these boys need to be in trouble and the media needs to be portraying them like this when a woman walked point blank into another man's house and shot him while he was eating cereal, whatever the fuck he was doing.
Yeah. Young man. I mean, Botham Jean, he didn't have a sheet that looked like this. I mean, they wanted to say, well, he was smoking weed. So he became immediately delusional and came toward her. They said that man barely got up.
What the hell you doing in my house?
Yeah, really. Might I ask what you're doing here? But you know how some of them get right. If you don't immediately comply and obey obey them, then it's an automatic death sentence.
But see,
Like that movie Sylvester Stallone was in. What's that movie, Judge Dredd? Your judge, jury, and executioner.
the shit that kills me is, had this been another scenario where he had walked into her home, she was shot and killed him, wouldn't have been no question. I bet you if he shot and killed her while she was in his house, he'd be on trial right now. This is insanity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because they'll be trying to make up everything. He wrestled the gun from her and put it 2 times in her chest.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what do you feel like is a pop? You probably hear me better now. What do you feel like is a proper response if you are in your home and somebody barges in? Do you feel like a proper response is to alert yourself, alert the person that's breaking into your home to who you are, that you live there, show up with forms of ID and a letter? I mean, how do you respond to an individual that's coming to your house and potentially wave the pistol on you?
My first instinct would probably be to put my hands up. What are you doing here? Who are you? What are you doing in my house? What's going on? Especially if it's a police officer with a gun. We don't know at what point both of them John did. All I'm saying is this: he seemed like he was in a very neutral position. Like I think the reaction was, "What are you doing in my house?" He probably was coming around just to see who came in his apartment. I mean, that would be my reaction if I hear the door open and I start hearing footsteps.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember correctly, I believe he was eating like a bowl of cereal or something at the time. So he was in a
bowl of ice cream.
Okay, bowl of ice cream. So he was in a very relaxed state, which is sensible since you're at home. So if you see somebody coming in your home, you know, there's 1 or 2 things you're gonna do. Because number one, we don't know that he even knows that was a police officer. All he knows is somebody came in his crib. Now, if what she said is true, that his door was open, okay, because that's what she claimed, the door was open. So that means he was expecting some type of company to come in. He's coming in his door, even though he's expecting somebody else. So my reaction to something like that is, I'm ready for war, because you ain't the person that's supposed to be coming to my house, or you somebody trying to get me. You saw my door open, you trying to get at me. Just that simple.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane to think that we have to do all of this, because if you come in my house unannounced, I don't know who the fuck you are. At the point I'm at now is you strike first and you strike hard, and you make it to a point to whatever happens after that, at least you made it worth it. And from what I'm seeing of all these white people coming in and doing all this shit, you shoot first and ask questions later. I would rather be in the news as the person who is on trial for killing somebody who walked into my house, as opposed to the person that's, you know, in the obituary for somebody walking into my house.
No, I'm with you there 100%. It's easier to say I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to kill you because you was coming to my house, but at the end of the day, something has to happen, because you cannot set. We don't need the precedent set that a person can come into your home without having to deal with the law for no apparent reason. Because even though she's a cop, now, you know what I'm saying, I'm not no lawyer or anything like that. I don't know if they can get her for like a murder 1 or murder 2, because I think that has to have like something to do with intent. They may be able to get her for manslaughter. But you know, when white folks deal in cases like this, a lot of times they're overcharged, so you can't get them on, like, they'll charge murder because they know legally you will never be able to get the murder because it wasn't intentional that you can prove. You know, the state has to prove the case. Well, we know we can't prove his intent, especially if they can't link those 2 people together. Because from what I know, so far there's still 2 totally unlinked people. So if that's the case, you can't say she had a motive to kill a man. So you would need to go with manslaughter to make her pay some type of serious time.
So that's what my whole thought was on it. This doesn't make sense that you are able to walk into somebody else's house and shoot them in their place of residence and you not be charged. The only question is what kind of charge are you going to get? And that's why I said murder one. We getting another type of murder. Manslaughter, I feel like it's too late, but you got to be charged with something. You got to go sit down. It's just a question of how we finna go sit you down.
Well, my thing is this: if she gets away with this, everybody at this point can now start using the Amber Geiger defense. Yeah, I went in there and killed her, but I didn't know what house I was going to. It was a mistake. Are we gonna set that type of precedence in this country? And you could just say, hey, I was going to kill somebody, or I was doing what I was minding my business. I accidentally walked into the wrong home. So I had to send some slugs at them because I thought that was my home, and I know I could kill somebody in my home. I figured I was getting robbed.
I thought that was my shit.
Yeah, like what do you do with it? I walk in the door, I see somebody robbing me. What I'm supposed to do? I got to shoot him.
I mean, that whole case is sad, man. It really is. This guy didn't harm anyone. All he was doing was trying to relax in his home. That was it.
If he can't have his home to relax in, they basically telling us black people don't have nowhere to relax.
Well, that's the only way I can look at this case because, again, you got this woman coming in there with the crocodile tears. Yo, shit. I remember seeing pictures of the door. The door don't fucking look alike, none of that shit. To me, in my mind, this looks like this woman picked the nigga she felt like she could get away with and walked up in that spot and chose to shoot him on purpose. And she was going to blame it on some goofy shit to see if she could get away with it.
Hey, this image I got up.
Okay, I got something.
This is an image of the.
Oh, let me.
This is an image from John and Amber Geiger with her family members. Notice this is her mother, the shorter lady. Look at the T-shirt she's wearing.
What's that say? Oh shit.
Yes, unless your name is Bolton.
We out here making statements.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as a joke. I'm being dead serious. They matter to you, the black guy at your home, and your daughter walking in and shoot him. Don't matter then.
No, it don't. Yeah, she had a very interesting Pinterest account that she forgot to scrub, and it had a lot of pro blue lives. I'm a cop, I'll shoot you. We wear black because we get ready for your funeral. Like, it said a bunch of heavy stuff. Kaepernick sucks. Like, she had a couple Kaepernick sucks posts.
So
yeah, she fit that archetype.
So what I've read from researching Amber Geiger, basically Amber Geiger, like you said, she's put up some suspected white supremacist type posts, right? She's calling or she's doing dog whistles for white supremacist groups and everything else. They say the person she's sexually and romantically tied with also killed a black man on accident.
The cop that she was sexting at the time?
Yeah, so that motherfucker also killed a black man.
Well, you know what that means, though. I mean, plain and simple, that woman was in fear for her life. That black man had a bowl of ice cream. She could have got brain freeze. I mean,
I'm trying to tell you, ain't nothing more dangerous than a bowl of ice cream.
That just goes so. Can you imagine? And we got to tell our son, wait a minute. You can't hold a cell phone. You can't be shopping at a store and pick up a toy gun. You can't hold a bowl of ice cream. Literally. Matter of fact, black people need, as black men, we need to tell them, look, everything needs to be voice activated. You don't need to have nothing in your hands. Don't pick up shit.
That still ain't gonna save you. Remember, they shot a kid in the park. Remember Tamir Rice, who was at a park, 12 years old.
I know that was in Cleveland. I live in Cleveland.
Well, yeah, so if you can't even play in the park, there ain't no right answer to tell you if they just gonna let people get away with stuff. And I'm starting to get the feeling that
the Tamir Rice thing. No, but here, let me tell you something about the Tamir Rice thing, which is so bad about that. They were so worried that the boy had a gun, right? And he was going to kill somebody. But there was nobody else in the park but him. Now, who the fuck he going to shoot? Now, that's what's so fucked up about it. There was nobody in the park but him. They said, oh, shit, this little boy might kill himself. We better do it for him.
Well, my thing is, at the end of the day, they're supposed to announce to their police officer and give some type of command, like drop the weapon or get on the ground, something. And they didn't do that with him. What in this particular case, it looked like Amber Geiger just went into a house of a random black man who she felt like, if I killed him, just let me see if I can get away with it. That's what it's starting to seem like to me. I don't know what it seems like to y'all, but that's what it kind of seems to me. It's like, let me see if I can get away with something like this.
I guess you went on a picnic, huh?
I mean, that's what I would take. I was actually thinking that she probably had seen this man in the apartment complex before. Maybe has some weird kind of sexual fantasy about this man and was mad he wasn't giving her the type of day.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I figured that he was probably fucking her and fucking other women, and she found out and then did that bullshit. Because if you notice in the beginning, they said that people heard her yelling before the shots were fired. There were witnesses that said that when the story first came out. Now I notice you don't hear him talking about that now, but
it could even have been, he didn't hit it and quit it, and she felt some type of way. Now she banging at his door after she'd have met a white man, mad, oh, you gonna ignore me? Oh, and the shit popped off. It could have been a whole bunch of stuff.
Man, this could be a simple case of her wanting to use her white privilege. They could have had some simple contact in this building. They could have had an altercation at the laundry room and didn't really know each other. And she got mad about it. So therefore, I'm going to kill him later. But I can't just randomly kill him. I got to make it look right. She's a cop. She knows how to make it look right. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's a ton of reasons of why she could have done this. Because if she's going to stick with the story that she don't even know this guy, okay, I ain't going to that point. Because there's no for us to prove that at this point that you know this guy. But at the end of the day, even if you don't know this guy, how do you justify walking into a stranger's place and shooting the stranger? That still makes no sense at all. Period. Everything she said could have been totally the way she said it. She still went into another person's home and she killed the other person who lives there. At the end of the day, you should be fired. Time should be served. And you know what I'm saying? The only thing we really should be trying to measure out is what's a reasonable amount of time for her to be doing. Because we already got the fact. I mean, I don't know, it's hard to know everything they're going to present in the case, but we already have established that she went into his home. She killed him. He did nothing. Right. He was eating a bowl of ice. What other than, you know what I'm saying, for us to figure out how much time she's supposed to get.
Yep.
Hey guys, you see this on the screen? Now, I'm not saying that she killed the man based on the social media posts, but if I were a thinking man, if a cop puts 2 bullets in somebody and they were posting stuff like this on their social media, it would definitely present an intent to do something just like that.
I remember reading all that crap already in the beginning when it first came out. But what just surprises me is she wasn't arrested till 2 days later.
Because they had no intention of arresting her.
Yeah, her fellow officers came and gave her hugs, and they did everything that they weren't supposed to do when dealing with a criminal.
Right. Oh my gosh, we're sorry. You might get in trouble for killing a nigga, but don't worry, we still here for you.
Blue lives matter. Blue lives matter.
You see, Soul Alchemy said it was a hit. Period. Point blank.
And you know what? That's reasonable. I can see that's a very reasonable thing.
if I was ever a conspiracy theorist person and believe all that bullshit, I would say that looked like a. I think about that. How the fuck do you get into? I mean, that mean maybe you figure, oh, wait a minute, I done hacked the key to where I can open this man's door. I mean, literally, I would actually say to her, especially for her not getting arrested until 3 days later. I'm like, no, man, this was a hit. I do admit I'm mad at his parents though, because I'm mad at his parents because they talking about that you shouldn't be. You know, if somebody killed, like, say if somebody killed Joe Baby right now, and they say it was an accident, would you be on TV saying, no, we want to get to the bottom of this, telling people to calm down? Hell no, I'm gonna do what the fuck y'all want to do.
You know what? I'm gonna say this.
You want to tear this thing up? Go right ahead.
When it comes to his parents, I was gonna say when it comes to his parents, this could be just fear. At the end of the day, they may not want that smoke because this is it's a national story. They may not want that smoke. They older. We don't know. I don't know how old they are, but they older than him. They may not they don't want that smoke.
Oh, I know that. Well, a lot of like this. You kill my kid, I want that smoke.
I
want all the smoke. I want the fire too.
A lot of these black people will get out here and start buck dancing because they got themselves a check, or they see a check coming. So a lot of times they'll start doing this whole week. Can we all get along? Well, you know, I done forgave them.
Well, you know what though, my thing is, wasn't he like from elsewhere? Wasn't he like a first generation person to be here in America? Meaning his parents are from somewhere else.
Yeah, he's from St. Lucia. He was from St. Lucia.
Right.
Them St. Lucians should have raised hell.
No. What I'm saying is they're a foreign people ain't gonna necessarily have the same reaction to somebody who been raised in this mess. You know how America is. Like us has been raised in it.
Yeah.
We probably gonna have a much different reaction than people who are foreign to how things go. We already know this sounds absolutely insane. There's nothing you can really tell any one of us, I'm sure, on this panel about how this can make sense at all and how she shouldn't go to jail. There's nothing you can really tell us on this one.
Right.
That's real.
Yeah, they got a different worldview. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? The only reason I see them doing what they're doing is because they just got a different worldview. But see, I didn't grow up in America. I know they try to tell us any way they can, especially if they can get away with it.
I know. Oh, definitely. I mean, but I mean, no offense. I'll say like this: black people getting killed like this is our fault. It's our fault. Because, and I'm going to tell you why it's our fault. It's our fault because this is what we have done. We've allowed them to have no consequences. Say I'm a one. Think about like even the cases where the people get paid. Say I'm a white man. I go out here and I kill here. I lie about the bullshit, this, that, and the other. Then when it comes out, it's a tape. I lied about the shit, this, that, and the other. Yeah, I lost my job. All they did was transfer me. And I moved to another little location and get a job being a cop there. On top of that, then what did the people do? Well, if people say, well, the city had to pay you some money. Yeah, you people had to get paid. They got paid, yeah. But the person who actually did the crime and did the offense, they suffered virtually no consequence. So if they suffered virtually no consequence for them being racist and lying and killing a person, what's gonna stop them from doing it again?
Well, yeah, that's pretty much the standard. Anytime one of these
and black people just need to say, hey, either you gonna handle the shit or we gonna handle the shit. And it's just what it need to be. Because we should already know the system does not work for us unless the system does for us.
So basically, I have that same ideology. If you look at any one of these white people who's gone out and killed a black man, they get a GoFundMe, right? Whether they're a police officer or not, they get a GoFundMe supposedly for their legal fees. That GoFundMe usually reaches into the six-figure amount, right? I've seen 200,000, 300,000. These, I don't know why they're raising $300,000 for somebody's quote-unquote legal fees, but they could have had 5 Johnny Cochrans for that. It wouldn't matter. They would still get off. which is typically
Hey,
right.
fellas.
Go ahead.
Hey, fellas. Do y'all want to see the riveting video of Amber Geiger and her tearful sentiments on the court stand?
Yeah, let's go ahead
I was
and run
watching
that.
it, but you go ahead and play it for the audience.
Yeah, let's go ahead and run that. Let me pull it up. But yeah, basically what ends up happening is these white supremacists get their
I
money.
got it pulled up already.
Okay, let me pull it on to you then. Yeah, but these white supremacists, they end up getting their money, and once they get their money, they ride off into the sunset. Same thing with the police and everything else. These motherfuckers get caught, and it's insane.
But
That's
not
why
even the fact of that, but here, Donnie, I got a question for you. People like George Zimmerman, people who done these crimes, these motherfuckers should be scared to order food from a pizza joint, knowing that a motherfucker might spit in their shit, piss in their shit. Well, I mean, literally, these people should not be living a normal life after the bullshit they have done. I mean, literally, they should be living their life in hiding, where they don't call nobody on the phone and order no shit because if a motherfucker know, wait a minute, you got, oh yeah, don't worry, your food is on the house. You find out the next day you got a flesh-eating bacteria or some shit. I mean, literally, there's just no reason in the world these motherfuckers, I mean, you should be scared to drive a car, motherfucker. Oh, that's that motherfucker, right? Well, fuck it, we just about to bash into him. I mean, literally.
If they lived only around black people, that would make sense. But they live in a society that supports white supremacy, always have supported white supremacy, and probably always will support white supremacy. So I don't know why they would be scared. If anything, they're gonna get proud for being the guy that pulled the trigger.
No, but see, that's another thing. That's another thing that I say still, I blame us as black people. Because black people need to be like, wait. Black people need to be like, oh, wait a minute. Y'all associating with this mother? Guess what? Used to. You know, that's how it should be. Black people need to stick together. Oh, hell no. You friends with that motherfucker, either your family better come out and denounce you right away. Like, no, we don't know that motherfucker. We ain't never talking to him again. That and the other. Otherwise, you just as dirty.
That's why I rock so hard for Tyrone Muhammad. Tyrone Muhammad saw that situation pop up in his community. And what did he go down there? He went down there. He had words to do. Dude wasn't trying to hear the words. His next step was bricks. That man made a statement. We're not finna tolerate this bullshit in our neck of the woods. So you can play that shit in your neighborhood. You can play that shit in their neighborhood. But you come in our neighborhood, this shit won't be tolerated. And you know what? If that happens on a large scale, a lot of motherfuckers would be scared. Just like Judge said, it kind of relies on us. If we came out here and was whooping ass, motherfuckers would be saying less.
I think in this particular situation,
I don't think situation. Every time that woman stepped outside, no, wait a minute, that bitch walked around for 3 days before she went. And you gonna tell me ain't nobody put no hands on her? I mean, no offense, plain and simple. I ain't even gonna lie, and I hate to put it like this, but why they found her permanently on a nap somewhere?
Well, I'm saying if she's able to get away with this in a court of law, again, you set a precedent. Right. It's okay to go inside people's homes and kill them. Eventually, you're gonna put so much pressure on black people, then it's gonna turn into that. Because if I have to be fearful for my life, no. I'm saying, bro. I'm saying on the general level. I'm not even talking about us doing it as a team and as a people. If I'm an individual and I have to be afraid everywhere I go, then the behavior is going to change. And if you're telling me that a white police officer can come in my house and kill me and it's cool, that's people going to look at things a lot differently at that point.
Yeah.
Hey. Well, I got the video myself.
Run that video. Go ahead.
Yeah. I want y'all to ask y'all a question. All right, I'll run it. Yes, let's run it.
Now, what's so funny when she's talking about, see, I'm still here, and this should have been. I'm like, we'll go from there. I'm like, well, shit, yourself and yourself. Where you go?
Oh, if you don't get out of here with this white sympathy act.
Don't get the fuck out of here. At this point, I'd have threw like a soft sandwich out her ass.
It's crazy because she make the same face that my son make when we put him down and walk away. Come back. Yeah, ain't a tear come out of his face. He just mad you put him down.
Wow.
You say you don't fall for that shit. Why should anybody else?
That napkin driving me.
I'm afraid I'm going to jail.
Becky tears are delicious.
How do you feel?
I feel like I don't have a chance to be with my family and friends. I wish he was the one that begun me and killed me.
How dare
Alright.
you play this video? It's making white bad.
Yeah, I'm over. I'm over this shit. So basically,
That's enough.
all that she did was complain and cry and seek as much sympathy she could, because at this point, like I said, it shouldn't be a conversation about are we going to charge her. Well, I mean, what are we going to charge her with? It's a all right. How long we gonna send this bitch away? Is she getting 25 years? Is she getting 15 years? That's the whole conversation that they should be having. But she's up here trying to elicit sympathy and white tears in order to save her ass. She's probably gonna get some community service and some goofy shit and be eligible for her job in a year or two.
Which makes zero sense. I mean, like I say, even if you buy into the whole story that she's telling, it's still established in this case that the man is dead. She was in his house, not the other way around. Regardless of her being a cop or whatever the case is, even if you are a cop, you still have to announce who you are. You still have to give the guy commands, and you're still supposed to at least attempt to take him into custody. And because there was no type of no signs of a fight or anything at all, you can't say like the man tried to beat you up or anything. So at the end of the day, you basically admitted that you came into his house and killed him. You got to get time for that. Period.
Okay, I'm gonna say that she's gonna get 5 years, be released in 2.5 for good behavior, and eligible for her job in 7.
You think she gonna get that little time? I think it's gonna be
I
less
had
than
to
that.
say something. I'll say this. They'll say, or if they'll say something where the terminology will be like 10 to X amount of time, but then in the fine print it'll be like eligible for release and good behavior, like 4 years. She ain't doing no more acts for what? If she found guilty. Because I'm listening to this stuff that this where they're trying to say the technicality, if you're paying attention to this, they're trying to make it seem like she keeps thinking that she was in her apartment and trying to play it like that. Because what they're special to who's saying, well, if thought she was in her home because of these, we should look at it like at these circumstances because she thought she was in her home. And I believe that's how they're going to try to get her less time.
Well, I mean, they may try that, but at the end of the day, she wasn't in her home. She's a trained professional. The public has given her a certain amount of power to to deal with people in the community and all that. So you gotta, she should be held to a higher standard of say, like, what if it was me that walked in somebody's home and accidentally killed them? You know what I'm saying?
But this is the problem.
She needs to be held at a higher standard than someone like myself. A regular civilian, she needs to be held at a higher standard. Period.
But not factoring in. She's white.
No, I mean, bro, I totally get that. There's no telling what's gonna happen. Yeah, I get that. So we don't know what's gonna actually happen with this, because the fact that she's white is the only reason that there's any type of real case going on. If this was a black person, I doubt it'd even be going anything. I mean, if this was a black person, I'm pretty sure they'd already be sentenced at this point.
Not even the fact. They would have told them to settle. They told them just take a plea.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what I'm saying. That person already be sentenced. I'm pretty sure, because they would have took a plea. You know what I'm saying? Just as little time as possible, which still would have been a huge amount of time. Probably would have got at least 20 years with a plea. I doubt that they got under 20 to 25 years, even with a plea. And but at the end of the day, because she is a public servant, she needs to be held at a higher standard. That's what black people need to call for. She is not like me or you walking in somebody's house making this mistake. She is a trained professional. We need to treat her like one.
Well, I don't agree with you on that. But think about it. They don't hold any of other public servants to a higher standard. Why in the world are they going to start with her?
No, I know, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is the black people need to be saying that, because if we walk into a house and kill somebody, we already know we're gonna get time. We very confident in that. So why should a trained professional get less time than any one of us making a random mistake? We're not trained professionals at the end of the day. She is. She's trained to go into situations, make assessments, and make split-second decisions for the best. She went into that home. She made an assessment of some kind, and she made a split-second decision. The fact that she could be so wrong, even though she's trained to do this, that says something. How can you mess this up that bad when this is what you do on a daily basis at work?
But in their book, she didn't really do anything wrong. She only killed the black person.
No, I mean, I understand that sentiment is going
right.
Standpoint. She needs to be held at a much higher standard, because she's trained to go into places, assess situations, and make split-second decisions. This is what she do every day at work.
Yeah, what's that old adage where they tell you?
Go ahead.
You remember what's that old adage where they tell you about these hands is lethal weapons. They registered as lethal weapons. If I hit you, I could go to jail for a long time. Why the fuck ain't the same situation for a cop walking to the wrong house and shooting somebody?
You're right about that, but it's only that way if you're black.
Yeah, well, my thing is that narrative. You shouldn't let that narrative ride in this type of situation, because at the end of the day, she's still walking to her home. I'm not going to even argue what her story was. See, the problem is we don't. I don't know what the in the case is what's being shown to the jury. I don't know if they even going to include the other people hearing screaming and all that. We don't know what's being told for sure. I didn't see it because, you know what I'm saying, I was on vacation, so I didn't see everything going on. But at the end of the day, I don't know what's been presented. But I do know we have established she killed the wrong man. Period. She was in his place. Period. There was no scuffle. Period. You are a cop and trained to make decisions like this on a regular basis. Period. All that holding water. At the end of the day, no matter how you put this, it should be serious time. Period.
But like I said, just here's the question. We should look it up. Look, how much time did Michael Vick get? I bet you she'll get less time than he did.
I think Mike got 5.
Okay. And she's gonna get less than 5 than Michael Vick. Think about it. Michael Vick just owned a house where they fought dogs.
No, I get exactly what you're saying. And I'm pretty sure a black man does not carry the same way as you not being there when dogs have a fight.
Yeah.
Right. Right. That's some fucked up shit.
Well, I've said for years now, if you pay attention to the media always tries to give a clear message. As long as you're not a black man, it is okay to kill a black person.
Mm, mm, mm. She's ultimately gonna get a slap on the wrist, and what you'll see is her after the whole trial is over, is sitting up with a black church or somebody's mammy, somebody's old Uncle Tom, and they're gonna be talking about we forgive her. The black community forgives Amber Geiger. Y'all come down and get some chicken and watermelon, because we in forgiveness business, because the Lord said so.
I mean, you know what? Steve Harvey gonna come out of nowhere too. Now I want you to look her in her eye and tell me, do you forgive them? You know that's all you gonna do.
Well, you see what? As a person who you know what I'm saying has the religious background, I don't understand what forgiveness got to do with her getting time. I can forgive her while she do her years.
Mm, mm, mm. Let
I
me
can
ask you
forgive
this.
her after I put her in the ground.
Let's say best case scenario, right? She gets some murder charge. We'll say murder one. They give her 15 years, right? What do you think the outcry would be from the white community, and what do you think the commentary would be from the black community?
Well, from the black community, no matter what she gets, she ain't gonna get enough. I'm gonna say that, cause they ain't like they finna give her life or anything like that. White folks are gonna be in full support of her doing as little time as possible, cause that's just always been the case. White folks, I mean, you can see the way they speak about the different individuals involved in the case in the media. White folks are not for white folks having to deal with serious consequences over killing a black person. Because, you know, in their mind, what's the big deal? It's just a black guy. That is true.
Mm.
You know, and if they're gonna go to jail for something, it should be over something serious. Like what if you killed another white person? That's something serious. But it's just a black guy. Why should we, you know, it was just a mistake. They gonna ride that all day long.
It's just a black guy. I mean, shit. God damn. What do you think?
That hurts when you say that shit. That hurts knowing that is true.
Yeah. What do you think?
Oh, I'll eat a cracker. I'm sorry.
It's incredible, delicious. You know, so let's say for Amber, her best case scenario, in my mind, with her getting 15 years, what do you think that the outcry from the white community would be, and what do you think the commentary from the black community would be?
The commentary from the black community would probably be justice. I mean, at least we got her with manslaughter. It should have been murder. I mean, because it was definitely murder. The outcry from the white community probably is like, well, it'll be the usual bullshit. Well, cops should just go on strike, not do their job anymore. Back to blue.
They'll say something real stupid like, well, what if y'all couldn't call us? As if we call y'all and y'all help now.
Black people don't call cops. Well, I ain't gonna lie. When's the last time a black man decided to call the cops? I've been a black man. I've never even thought about calling the cops.
In their mentality, they gonna look at us as if we call cops for help and actually get something. They're gonna have that type of mindset. Well, what if you can't call the cops when something is happening to you? Well, that would be normal.
Right.
Yeah.
Like last Tuesday.
You're like, oh, we can't. Just give you an example. Oh, let me take that back. I've been in 2 episodes and where I've said something to cops. The first thing the cops want to do before you tell them, yeah, this person did this, that. Well, who are you? Well, what's your name? Let me see your ID. Motherfucker, I'm talking about the motherfucker over there. We need to know who you are. What the fuck you trying to run me for? I'm the victim.
Bro, I done had a cop give me a ticket because I asked him for directions.
I gotta ask how the hell that happened.
Kid you not. I'm looking for Walgreens in the area.
Yeah. How dare you ask?
So I'm looking for Walgreens. He wants to see my ID and everything because I asked him for directions. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, bro, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So now he upset that I told him no. Or you know what? I'm gonna put something on you. I'm gonna do something, and there was nothing he can put on me. So he was like, okay, I'm gonna give you a seatbelt ticket just to make you go through some trouble. You ain't had your seatbelt on. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing you can do. Plain and simple too is that black people. Like I sit here when you watch those videos when the people be like, I don't answer questions. I don't man, how many show some videos of some black people doing that? You gonna get arrested off rip.
Yeah. So and that's what I'm saying. All I did was ask that man where the nearest Walgreens was.
And you walked away with a ticket for asking for directions.
I'm saying,
he
like,
look,
I took directions to the courthouse.
You want 2 forms of ID and a damn thumbprint.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what about you, Judge? What do you think would be the public outcry from that side of the fence, and how do you think black people will handle it if she did get a, we'll say, somewhat legitimate time frame of being incarcerated?
Give me the time frame, and then I'll tell you what would you say?
Let's say she get 15 years, which she won't. But let's just say she get 15 years.
And releasing, but eligible for parole in how long?
We'll say eligible for parole in 2.5 years. That's probably what's likely.
Well, black people, I hate to say something. I'm just going to just tell you like this: black people, if she get anything less than 15 years minimum sentence, black people just need to go crazy. Period. If you, I ain't gonna lie, this is the time where you go crazy. Period. They're just if you ain't gonna go crazy, if you gonna go crazy for something, this is a time to go crazy for. I mean, if it's like this, either go crazy and let it be known that we are done with the police and the justice system how it is and get it changed right now, or either just sit over and tell the people now you want to be slaves. That's just what it's coming to. I'm just to the point like that. It's either this case right here should determine it. I'm not even gonna lie. This case should determine it. If she don't get a good, reasonable 15 years plus, black people just need to revolt. Period on all levels. I'm just gonna come out and say it. They just need to do whatever it takes.
Set the city on fire, basically.
I'm gonna say this.
No, I'm gonna set the city on fire. I'm like this here. Look, don't set your own businesses and shit on fire. You make it so where they hurt.
I wasn't being literal. So
yeah, but you gasoline where they hurt. Make it to where the cops don't go nowhere without being 15 deep. I mean, literally.
Well, you know what though?
Make it to where I ain't gonna. You gonna sit up here and say, "Hey, yeah, you bet. Hey, if you was a cop as of this, you better quit after that day." But not, you know what I mean? Make it to where you don't even need to be. Because I hate to say, I believe the police need to be disbanded. They need to just disband it, fire them all, start over, change it to another word. Don't let no new people, none of the people. If you were police, too fucking bad. You can't be a police officer no more. Everybody knew.
Well,
that's the only way you can weed it out. You got to get everybody new. Everybody. If you was too bad, we got to train new ones.
Well, I'm gonna say realistically, as far as what time she's going to get, and it might be some people that be upset I said this, but at the end of the day, realistically, I think at best you're looking at time served. If they give her anything, they're gonna give her time served. It's the same thing I said with George Zimmerman when everybody was talking about that, and I was like, George Zimmerman ain't finna get no time, and people was upset that I was saying that. But I was like, bro, it took them 45 days just to even go arrest the guy. He's not finna get time. In this particular case, they did it in like 2 to 3 days, but they already showed you they had no intentions of her arresting her. The only reason she got arrested is because the story got media attention.
I wouldn't be surprised if they hit her ass with a yeah, we're gonna give you 30 days, or 60 days, 90 days, and then all of a sudden that 60, 90 days end up not being served. We released her after 3 days.
They might give us a suspended sentence. If that, I don't think this woman's gonna get a conviction. That's what I'm saying. I'm dead serious. I would be surprised if she got any kind of conviction.
It don't look likely.
I think that because of media attention, they're doing this. They're doing this trial as a dog and pony show because they had no intention of arrest her in the first place. It got some media attention. You know what I'm saying? Things like this have happened in the past where people wanted somebody to get arrested and it wasn't done, so they go back later on down the road and they arrest the person. This is the same thing happening here. How did she get arrested? She was able to turn herself into a station of her choice when she wanted to. If you pay attention to the signals, nobody was trying to go get her and arrest her for anything. And look, we got some media attention going on. You're gonna have to turn yourself in somewhere because they're gonna be looking for you and all that. We gotta say we did something. So when you want to come in, well, I come in Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? You sure that's gonna be enough time for you to get your stuff together? Yeah, I'll be straight. I'm gonna call my mom. You know, I have her do this and XYZ. I got a sister's gonna help me out. Blah blah blah. So yeah, I just come in Tuesday.
I have someone come over, dip me down before I go. Everything.
And then it was like, well you know,
I believe you on that.
Yeah, don't come here because you know the media's out here looking for you because they know you work here. So you know what I'm saying? You got to go somewhere else. Where you want to go? You know, I go to Billy Bob's spot over in such and such county, and I just turn myself in over there. Okay, cool. We'll meet you there, and then we just release a statement. That's basically how this whole thing been going on. So with all that happening, I'm expecting. I'm. There's no expectation for me to see her get convicted of anything. And I'm not saying it's not going to happen. They may do it just to like throw us a bone as black people, but I don't expect nothing to happen.
Well, I believe they're probably this would be a case we have to watch. I believe they'll convict her. Probably do. They'll convict her, give her a long sentence because they'll do that to make it because they don't want riots. They already know niggas gonna tear some shit up if it happens. So what they'll do is do that, and then what they'll do is they'll wait 6 months, 8 months in, and then change her sentence after it's then died down. Or they'll put it to where.
If they give her a conviction, they're gonna suspend the sentence or they're gonna say time served. She ain't finna do nothing.
Yeah, she ain't finna do no damn time. That's just the short and straight of it. She ain't finna do no real time. All them crocodile tears.
No, they're gonna say because of her police service, blah blah blah. She's done X, Y, and Z. You know, and we know it was a mistake. She's not denying she killed the guy, but we know, and it's been established that it's a mistake. We don't want to treat her just like any old criminal. We don't want to send a message to people to not want to be involved with law enforcement. We don't want to send a bad message.
Sure. Whatever.
No, it's a whole lot of BS. But I'm just saying, realistically, I don't really see this woman having any real negative outcome because of this case. I'm pretty sure she probably got a GoFundMe going on. I'm pretty sure somebody's paying for her lawyer. And at the end of the day, if they even say for a second she can't get no job, I'm pretty sure somebody with a business is gonna step up to hire her.
They setting her up for the win, and I've been watching this little trial here and there and seeing bits and pieces of it. They asking her stupid ass questions like, "So you had a long day at work?" Well, yeah. Okay, so it was a long day. Yeah. What did you carry upstairs when you went upstairs? Oh, I carried my bag, my pack, and my lunchbox. What the fuck does any of that got to do with you walking in the wrong fucking household and shooting a black man? They're trying to set the stage for her to be so fatigued and so out of it for serving her country as a law enforcement officer that she just didn't know what was going on. And you see she's crying. Just give her a break. Just give her a slap on her wrist and let her go back to being a cop. Nah, bro, this shit's wild.
Yeah, then to me, there's no way to truly justify this. Because at the end of the day, even if you believe everything she said, because the dead man can't tell his side of the story, you kill somebody in the wrong house. You're supposed to be doing serious time, period. And you're a person that makes judgment calls on a daily basis about when and when not to shoot people. Yeah, my view of the trust of the public is, you got to be held at a higher you know what I'm saying, from at a higher standpoint than just a regular old Joe. You know, you got to be more liable than John Q. Public at this point. You know, that's like saying somebody got hurt around me and somebody got hurt around an EMT. Well, you know, if a person would have just did this, they probably could have saved them. Well, for me to say I didn't know to do that makes more sense than an EMT saying I didn't know to do it. That's what he do every day.
Yeah, well, this shit is getting crazy. No matter how you look at it, I think it'll be something to watch unfold because I want to see how the community handles this, right? Everybody's kind of giving their opinions on what they think should happen or will happen once this shit goes down. But I'm with Judge on it. I'm motherfuckers need to go out here and cut a hole in the city and let everybody know we're not finna tolerate this shit no more.
Well, my thing is, if something happens, they push it to that point.
I mean, this should be the case right here. I'm not gonna lie. It should be so many fucking cities that go buck wild that matter of fact, go ahead. You're right. Go ahead, tear the shit up because I'm like to the point like this. Remember, like I'm always one of those fans. You want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. You really want, if black people really want to get where the justice system is fair, us and shit in jail, right now we gonna make sure after this bullshit ass verdict come out, it's gonna be so many of us out there doing so much shit, you ain't gonna be able to control it.
But I don't think that's the most powerful statement that we can make. I think, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not advising anyone to do this. You know, I'm not legal that I can. But I think if black people really wanted a real response that'll mean something, if she gets off in any kind of way in this case, just go kill her. Don't tell no community, just kill her.
Let me go ahead and hurt your feelings right here. See, this is the problem, and I'm gonna just say this as this: black people keep trying to play by rules when the other side don't got no fucking rules. If your enemy don't know what you're saying, rule. You have to play the way they play.
Judge,
this is the reason shit ain't getting done.
Judge, I ain't gonna lie. Exactly where you're coming from, but I can't tell somebody on air to go kill a lady. I can't tell nobody that on air.
I didn't say they gotta do whatever they want to do. If some people wanted to go that far, let them.
No, I'm just saying what would be a bigger message? Tearing up a community or killing her? You know what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, I'm saying I think at the end of the day, if people got a message, if you get caught up messing with black folks like that, then that you will die, they won't do it.
Start marching and hold up some signs and just sit there. It's nothing to be said. Your whole hands with you.
Is he breaking up or is it just me?
No, he was breaking up. I didn't hear him either.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, say it again.
Now we can. I think it's all too often that black people have this mindset of we're gonna go out here and we're gonna get on TV and we're gonna hold hands and we're gonna pray and we just gonna hope somebody comes out here and fix it. And I'm tired of the shit. Motherfuckers don't get the message until black people is out here riding in the streets and fucking shit up. They don't want to come out here and start trying to pay attention to the shit we got going on until they see that niggas is woke. What the dudes from the 40-year-old virgin say, nigga here now. When nigga here now, that's when white people start listening. But when you get out there and you got to get the Martin Luther message together where you say we shall overcome and we praying for help, don't nobody want to come help us. But when the city starts getting fucked up, that's when they start paying attention to what we do.
Well, like I said, I ain't even gonna lie. You want shit to get changed? I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes innocent people gonna get caught up in the shit and they gonna take some of the consequences. So either what do? You either change the whole fucking system, or, I mean, plain and simple. Even if they say, well, fine, from now on, we gonna make all the black people go to trial with all black juries and all black, you know what I mean? Even if they did that. And then when it's an interracial thing, they do 50-50. I mean,
Well,
literally. I mean, you got to you. I mean, I hate to say, black people, we have to stop letting these times go by and not making a point.
okay, but
I
just
mean, this person just killed. I'm like, this person
you
just
understand if I
killed
break it down
somebody.
like this. Hold on, just let me break it down like this. I understand community response. I totally get that. But community response does not necessarily hold the individual responsible. When it comes to black people, they always set us up. They separate us. They get us as individuals, not in group
Mhm.
settings. That's normally how it goes. So what I'm saying is, if black people were going to respond to this, even though I'm not saying that anybody should literally go kill a woman, I'm saying that if you want to send a message to the white community, the people who actually end up messing with black folk, like this particular woman, they would have to get killed. So as an individual, they will understand if you touch black people, you will be touched. Period.
Yeah, she should be touched. That tear the shit up too, but you got to touch her too.
Well,
Because I
I'm
believe,
saying
I'm not even gonna lie. I believe if they touched enough of them, like say if black people said fuck it, even if they said fine, we ain't gonna tear the cities up. But Amber Geiger gone, George Zimmerman gone, that motherfucker over there gone. All these people who had all these cases will fine. We just gonna handle all them. I mean, literally.
no. I'm saying it would have that would have to be done in order for a true message to be sent, because there's been so many marches, so many community standoffs, there's been so many riots. You got to do something that hasn't been done before. So you
Well,
have to
I
trust
told
the
people, I
individuals
joked.
that actually do it. So
I
every
was talking. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day. I told
well,
him,
I'm
I
just
said,
talking
look,
about
the
from
time
a
for marching and praying, is over with. When you ready to actually do something physical, call me.
no. I mean, I feel where you're coming from, but I'm just saying that what has and has not worked for us as a people. When it comes to black people responding as a community, we don't get we actions that need to happen don't happen. So if anything, we need to do something different. Instead of going at a community with a community response, there needs to be a message sent to the individual white folks that if you're the person that's going to do this, understand you're going to die. We can't stop you from doing it, but
So
no,
basically,
you're going to
what you're
come.
saying is instead of making the entire community feel the reverberations of what this one person did, you go directly after that specific individual, so that there's a message of, oh shit, if I mess with a black person, I might be the next one to come up missing.
What the message is, I'm going to die. You know what I'm saying? Because the community response don't get us where we need to be. And I can't tell people to do it because it's not legal. But I'm saying from a historical standpoint and how you send messages, every white person needs to know if you're the person caught doing it, you're the one that's going to die. Now, maybe your wife dies too, or maybe your husband dies with you, maybe your kids die alongside, but you're definitely one of the people that's going. See, now you put fear in the individual from even doing it.
No,
And then what
definitely.
go?
I think plain and simple. I ain't gonna lie. You even get to the day, you a casualty of war. You were standing next to him. That way, motherfuckers be like, "Oh hell no, you did some fuck shit. We don't even want you near us." I mean,
I
where
mean,
they it'd be so bad to when them white people go off and do something stupid, the people in their community by the time they get home, they done pack their house up and they shit sitting down the street. No, nigga, you don't even come on this street. We don't want to get caught in your backlash.
well,
Hey,
yeah,
but you
and
know
I'm
what
saying,
though?
oh, go ahead, kid.
You know what though? All this stuff you're talking about, sending messages and everything. This is the one thing that they are afraid of. This is why Botham Jean is dead, because they're afraid that every time we remember the past, we're thinking about some plot of some revenge on them for what they did to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. They're always afraid for us to gain too much power. They feel like that we're going to take our gain power that they fear us gaining, and we're going to turn it on them. That's why these kids keep getting gunned down in the street. That's why that young man got gunned down in his own apartment, because of that fear, that racist ass fear. So they already react in a way where they fear that anyway. and any talks of it only stokes their fears even further. So they're already on top of this. I mean, you see all these viral videos of them training their kids with AR-15s.
No, I mean, I get all that, but I'm just speaking from a historical standpoint. From a historical standpoint, if I was a person 150 years from now teaching history, how would I say to approach this? See, white folks know that they can do certain stuff. They'll get a certain level of community protection. But when you send the message that the individual is going to die, and whoever else dies in the process, as they say, a casualty of war for us getting to that particular individual, now the individual white person fears actually doing anything. And until you send that individual fear, they'll continue to do so because whoever does it gets white community protection. That's what we're seeing play out with Amber Guyger right now. This is white community protection. So she's able to do it as an individual. The community is going to protect her. Because like I said, I don't really expect her to get much of anything. If she even gets the conviction, I don't even expect anything more than time served. So the community is going to protect her. But when you know that the community cannot protect you, you're less likely to commit the crime in the first place. That's all I'm saying. If I'm talking from a historical standpoint, because I'm legally not going to tell anybody to go put a bullet in her head. I'm not going to tell folks to do that. I'm just saying if we handle stuff that way, it will send a clearer message throughout history. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just going to tell them to do whatever they want to do.
But also, let me bring this up also. Of the two victims, who did the media treat better? Who did society treat better? Did they treat John Weed better, or did they treat both of them John better? Because
they treated John better.
Man, I don't think his body was cold, and they was already accusing him of smoking weed.
Yeah, I mean, it's really insulting to the family on the day of his funeral to have a search warrant to go in his apartment to see what they can find.
What about right before, like I said, you're right. Before they even got him to the hospital, they was already saying that he came at her.
They was trying to find a way. You know what I can stand about this?
What?
I mean, you know what I can stand about this? When he first got killed, the first cops they put in front of you were black. There was a police sergeant that was a black man, and then you had Chief Urene Hall. Neither one of those officers offered any transparency. You know, no arrests were made. They weren't telling anybody why. They were coming up with the same BS.
Yeah, you got to put the pet nigga up there. You got to put the pet nigga up there to explain away so that the other niggas don't get upset. Oh, well, there's a black guy up there. It's okay. It's not racist.
So let me ask y'all a question. What do you do when you not on like? Okay, you got the. What do you do when you have no one on your side? You know, the All Lives Matter crowd, the Blue Lives Matter crowd. There's absolutely no chance for you.
Eventually, you're gonna have to kill somebody yourself. That's how history works. I mean, that's the only actual answer to always being oppressed. Eventually, you're gonna have to get up and kill somebody. You know, and I mean, think about Nat Turner. He was being oppressed. There was no way out. He eventually had to get up and kill somebody. You see what I'm saying? 'Cause there's different levels of oppression, and there's different levels of pressure that people feel in their everyday lives. And if you push people to the point where they feel so much pressure, they're gonna get up and kill somebody because that's a natural human behavior. You know, it's like as they say, people either fight or flight. Either they're gonna run from it, but if you put people in a position where you feel like there's nowhere for you to run, like you can't even go home. This man was at home. So if I can't even go home, what else? What other choice do I have at this point?
I mean, that's powerful as fuck what he just said. You can't even be at home. They used to tell you, nah, just stay in the house, baby. But hey, listen,
Right.
you Just stay in the house. Ain't nothing gonna happen to you. You can't even do that shit now.
You can't make a phone call. You can't barbecue. You can't. I mean, look at that. Like, they need to get a list of all the damn things. I hate to say that black people can't do without being killed.
The list
or
would be,
suspected.
it'd be one
Can't
word
take
on
it
that
back.
list.
I mean, look,
It'd be one word on that list, and it'd say everything.
breathe. It'll say breathe.
The take home from this case, if that woman walks away and she don't have no real long-term charges, the take home from that case is we will get you niggas wherever we want to get you, which is what they already said before, but this was a confirmation more so than anything. You niggas ain't safe at home. You niggas ain't safe at the fair. You niggas ain't safe walking home. We gonna get you niggas.
Exactly. You're not safe
Damn.
at the convenience store. You ain't safe in the park. You're not safe anywhere. You see what I'm saying? Because black people done said that themselves. Countless. Think about how many times in your life when you done said to yourself, or you even said it out loud. Let me go home because I know the situation finna get kind of. I know how this gonna go. It's gonna get a little crazy. Let me just go into the crib so I can just avoid the whole mess. Like if we can't even say I can, let me go to the crib so I can avoid everything. What else can we do?
You're not safe driving home because they might pull you over and think you got a gun on you, nigga.
Walk home either.
You can't get on the bus because you walking down there. They might see you at the bus stop and see you as somebody who might have been breaking and entering. And they need to come and check you, nigga. You not safe nowhere.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can't ride a bike. I done got pulled over on bikes before. Can't even ride a bike.
Oh,
I have to.
me too.
So
Hey, yeah, it was years ago. Like I was riding my bike through the downtown area, and I get stopped by the cops. Guess who they said they was looking for? They was looking for a black man on a bicycle.
it's always
Like
yeah. So it's 4 people on this panel right now. 3 of the black people on this panel have been pulled over on the bikes.
I've been pulled over walking, so I'd have had a motherfucker roll up on me and ask to see my tattoos, ask me what gang I was affiliated, and I'm like, I'm going to the damn corner store, bro. I live in these apartments. You need to leave me the fuck alone. Nah, just be cool. Just be cool. You know, we're just trying to get to know you. Know the community. Whoa.
But
Yeah, I've had that happen to me twice. Walking home from work, especially that I started working in upper scale neighborhoods. I've been run so many damn times it ain't funny. And all you gotta do is be walking, not even talk on the phone, not like I'm in a conversation, so I'm making noise. There's been times I've been walking at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm on a main street. It's a 4-lane street, so it ain't like I'm near people's houses, and they done rolled up on me that way.
Yeah. So my thing is that you're creating way too much pressure for anybody to deal with, and what we would call a reasonable basis. You're putting it to the point where reasonable is attacking you. You know, and you know, white folks have, of course, have always tried to be careful about that. But if you're telling me the man can't eat ice cream at the crib, you know what I'm saying? Then attacking you randomly is reasonable at that point. But I'm saying from hindsight, because hindsight is 2020. What Botham be dead if black folks killed the actual officers that was involved with the Tamir Rice shooting, or if black people killed the actual officers involved with the Freddie Gray death, if black people killed the actual officers deal with Sterling. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we killed the actual people involved in these situations that's been coming over the years, getting this little media attention, will white folks be okay with killing a random black person? See, because like I said,
definitely not.
Right now, she's just doing what white folks do. They kill random black people. They get community protection. She's not going to feel the brunt of this situation.
Good point.
She's definitely not going to feel the brunt of the situation. But I always look at it from a team sports perspective, right? If I am part of a team, right, and maybe y'all remember this from football. If somebody fucked up, we all had to pay for it in the drill.
Yep.
And we was more apt to look at everybody else for accountability at that point because we all had to pay for some shit that you did. That's why I come at it from an aspect of, no, we getting the whole community together, because you're not gonna come in here and do this shit. Everybody needs to be accountable for everybody else. Even if you have a personal fear of doing some shit, you need to be looking over at the other person saying, "Hey, listen, don't fuck this up for me."
I mean, and I totally understand that, but how are white people attacking us? They're attacking us as a group. They disparage all of us. But when they do their attacks, they do it as individuals, and they try to keep you as an individual.
They do
attacking us.
They do, but and when they do these attacks, they are promoted as saints, as heroes. They are the black people are usually demonized in the media and everything else. But if there was a system put in place to where I wouldn't even say a system. If they had a healthy fear of us, they said, "Hey, listen, the last time this shit happened, the whole city had to pay. They was burning down these places. They was busting these windows. They was out in the middle of the street. We couldn't do shit in this neighborhood because we had pissed off the black people. Next time around, let's make sure that this don't happen on multiple levels. Hey, listen, this shit happened. Go ahead and snatch him the fuck up. We got to bring him in. Hey, niggas, you see, we got him right. Listen, we don't want no parts of this. We sorry, Mr. Nigga. We sorry, Mr. Nigga. We need to make everybody pay for it, and the aspect that they are all holding everybody accountable."
Now, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm just saying, based on how history goes, white people ready for that.
Yeah.
But when you go after the individuals that was involved, that's something they never had to deal with.
What I'll say this: remember, every time that in history, when we've had a full-on riot or some shit went down, these white people came around and was talking real fucking nice and trying to get shit together. Hey, listen, what do we need to do? What do we need to do to fix this problem? Remember when Martin Luther King died? Them riots was a motherfucker.
No, I mean, I'm with you. I'm not going to even say that I'm really like against somebody doing a riot. My thing is the individuals involved have to go. If you want an effective change,
yeah. Well,
I'm
you know
just saying, do a whole riot. As long as the individuals involved go too.
I support that as well.
Well, all I was going to say was I think if you do anything where it's a community response, but the individuals involved don't actually suffer, I don't think your message will be sent.
Fair enough. I'll co-sign that one. As far as the show, we finna turn into a pumpkin. I'm trying to drop these shows down to a shorter time frame to get more condensed soup to the people so they can go ahead and get that bouillon cube about the show. In the meantime, I'm gonna let everybody run their final statements out, and we're gonna get up out of here. So anybody want to go first?
I'll go first. Man, if you happen to come across this show, check out the Roger Report. That's my show. You'll get nothing but good content over there. And check out the Habituals Line Steppers Entertainment Channel, The Black Dimension, spelled BLAKK. That's how. Channel. So yeah, check us out over there too.
All right. Next up, how about you, Jud?
Hey, I mean, just the fact is this: the time for marching and all this is over with. It's time to do something. And I'm gonna just say, black people cold. So it's gonna be some black people that want to do the march and shit like that. Instead of y'all sitting up there trying to talk to other people out of doing the action stuff while y'all just doing marching, just say, well, look, we'll talk to them after y'all handle the problem. Black people have to stay on code. Some people don't want to do the action, but let the motherfuckers who want to do the action and don't down. Well, hey, every time they say, well, what do you feel about the people busting store windows? Well, I figure I'll tell them to stop as soon as y'all handle the issue. I have no opinion on that. That they did what they felt they needed to do. And don't sit up here and don't do no bullshit where you do that slide. Well, I don't condone. No, that's a bullshit talking word code. Well, I don't condone you going over there beating so-and-so's ass for killing your daughter and then lying about the shit, then covering it up, then not facing a charge until it go viral on the video. I mean, think about this shit. It ain't like these cops get started acting like this. They doing the shit already, even when they being filmed. It's still like, and what, motherfucker? You ain't gonna do shit. I mean, that's kind of bold when you know that this motherfucker got the camera on, know that the shit was recorded, know that somebody else recorded his ass, and still like, and
Fuck you
I
gonna
mean,
do?
you playing with us. I hate to say, black people when it comes to white people and our criminal justice system is like a stubborn child. Our justice system is worse than black women, and you know that's got to be fucked up. I mean, it's just really like this. I said, you like a with a stubborn child. What the fuck do you think that they gonna do? They're not gonna do shit until they get hit upside the head hard enough and they start losing things. They're not gonna do it just because y'all motherfuckers sitting up here begging and screaming for them to not. I mean, last time I checked, a motherfucker screaming at me ain't never cost me no money, never cost me no headache. But if I got my ass beat or that somebody destroyed all my shit, that cost me time, energy, and effort. Somebody ended my productivity at this company, that cost me time, energy, and effort. If you don't hurt them, it ain't enough, especially when it's to cities and stuff like that. Because I'm pretty sure they got in the government somewhere where they just write that money off. They get all that. It don't cost them no money in the budget. They say that, but I'm pretty sure the United States just gives them all that money back. I would not be surprised if it was written somewhere where it's like, oh, don't worry, you cut them a check for $5 million. Act like that it hurt the city that bad, but don't worry, we put it back in your coffers.
Well, damn, I think you said a mouthful there. How about you, Kev? Shoot for it. Shoot for the moon.
Well, maybe not the moon, maybe the city next over, but I would say is it's like this has been a long-standing problem, and I think it's because that we keep finding ourselves in situations where we have to go to them for something. What I think we need to start working toward is fortifying our own community. That's basically it. Building ourselves up, making sure that we are providing ourselves with enough education and enough resources to sustain on our own. Because if we don't, we're gonna have stuff continue even with the case of the two boys. Like pretty soon, these kids ain't playing no more. Like they already showing you they ain't playing no more. They're not their grandparents. They're not gonna get shouted at and have rocks thrown at them and chased home, being called the N-word, being told that they're less than human. They don't want to. Those kids don't want to hear that in 2019. I mean, and there's enough incidences where it is becoming very prevalent. And then when you see stuff like Botham John, just sitting in his apartment, that right there is enough to shock anybody. What is there left for a black man to do after that if she walks? You can't do shit. You have to fear for your life when you walk out the door. It's like pretty soon it's gonna be anything. Oh man,
You gotta fear when you're sitting in the door.
Like he was walking to his mailbox. I thought he was about to pull a gun out the mailbox. I asked him to freeze. I fear for my life. They're gonna come up with anything. So the only thing we can about do is be careful and start getting it together on our end. The period is like it's coming to that time where there's a no choice scenario, and the people that we're talking right now, we're doing nothing but getting older. So I would say let's just work toward providing a better world for our children, and teaching them the right things, and as far as ourselves, making the smart enough decisions to because our survival depends on it. Let me put it like that. Our survival depends on it. So yeah. Thanks, Donnie, for having me once again. But of course, we are the habitual line steppers, so we are all welcome on all our platforms. Like Roger said, check out the Black Dimension, spelled BLAKK Dimension. Look us up on YouTube. Got some interesting stuff coming there, and also check out all our channels. The Roger Report. This channel right here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Judge Dre and whatever he's doing right now. And Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Check out my YouTube channel. The best show on YouTube. So that's it. That's all I got to say.
Well, thank you, brothers, for popping on. Yeah, I want to be clear. I think every black person at this point should be armed. If you are not armed, you should be looking into getting armed. You need to take classes. You need to learn what self-defense is. And as the man said before, when you walk outside, your life is at risk. But according to this new court case, you ain't even got to leave the damn house, and your life could be at risk. Know your laws. Figure out what stand your ground is. If a motherfucker come into your house, you let them be on the obituary. It's a dangerous day and age for us, and it's too late to be sitting in the corner crying and asking for somebody else to come help us. At this point, we need to stand up for our own selves. We need to go out here and show these motherfuckers that we are not the ones to keep fucking with. Period, point blank. This isn't a call to arms or a call to violence. This is a call to protect yourself. Always seek peace. But when motherfuckers slap you, go ahead and make sure that you cripple their ass. But as per usual, I'm sure at several points during the show, you heard me or somebody else on the cast say something that was crazy, and you know it, and you just was like, you know what, he ain't shit. Well, you ain't shit for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll holler at y'all later.